There is nothing like a Cunard ship. No cruise line in existence today has the legacy and tradition like Cunard. Instantly recognizable in any port, with their hallmarks perhaps imitated by some but never duplicated. And when a new Cunard vessel comes along, it makes headlines. Come with us on an updated tour of the latest Cunard ship as we dive deep into new features, returning favorites, and the latest news on her construction, plus some exciting new video of her during her sea trials. The long-awaited Queen Anne is finally nearing completion. It's been 7 long years since she was announced, and an even longer 14 years since Cunard's last ship. Queen Anne will be Cunard's 249th ship, and the first time that Cunard has had 4 ships in service since 1999. While the first few months of this year have been very exciting with the debuts of the Icon of the Seas and the Sun Princess, there's something very special about a Cunard vessel. Anticipation is building with Cunarders. We've had an update from Cunard that Queen Anne's official naming ceremony will take place in Liverpool on Monday, June 3rd. The ceremony will be part of her 14-night voyage around the British Isles, which departs May 24th from Southampton. So what else do we know about the new Queen? First, she's a beautiful ship with some of the classic lines reminiscent of the ocean liners of the past, and of course echoes of the Queen of Queens, Queen Mary II. Later on in this video, stay tuned for some images of her underway during sea trials. Not the best quality, but you'll see the profile. In this updated version, we're going to look at some of her key features, new attractions, and of course returning favorites. We'll have a closer look at some of her restaurants and more details on staterooms. Discovering her differences while celebrating the links to the past, that's what makes a Cunard ship. If you want to stay in the know and up to date on the latest Queen Anne news, you need to hit the like and subscribe buttons now. We want to bring you the latest and most relevant, concise details as they become available, and your support helps us do just that. At the time of filming, Queen Anne was in Italian waters south of Venice completing her sea trials, having left the shipyard on February 3rd. She made her way around Italy to Palermo, Sicily, before returning through the Messina Strait. More on that later. After maneuvers in the Mediterranean, she is turned to sail north towards Venice and a return to the shipyard on February 16th. We'll continue to track Queen Anne's progress as she nears delivery and makes her way home to Southampton for her first cruise on May 3rd, 2024. Over 3,000 passengers will join the sold-out voyage to Spain and Portugal. 3 sea days will allow plenty of time for exploration of the new ship. Queen Anne utilizes many of the Art Deco style features that harken back to the original Queen Mary. The details available to us give us the impression of wide open space, embracing an open concept wherever possible. Before we get started, I want to emphasize that at this point we only have the renderings provided by Cunard, as the ship has not entered the finishing phase. If recent trends hold true, the colors in the renderings tend to lean heavily into the beige and browns, when in reality the true colors are darker and richer. This almost seems to be a trend amongst designers to provide a more washed out look. This was very clear when looking at the renderings for the new Sun Princess compared to the early pictures we've seen, so let's not judge a book by its illustrations. Now join me as we take a virtual walk through the ship from bottom to top. Let's start with the focal point of any ship, the Grand Lobby. Nowhere else on the ship are you going to find a better example of the Art Deco influence of the original Queen Mary than in the Grand Lobby. With its 3-story, backlit metal mural sculpture, it's definitely the centerpiece of the ship, and will be stunning as you first board. At the forward end of Deck 1, we'll find the spa area with its treatment rooms, thermal suite, fitness center, and change room areas. As we move on to Deck 2, more key venues stand out here from the Grand Lobby, including the Britannia Club and the Chart Room. At the aft end of Deck 2, we'll find the Britannia Restaurant's lower level. Walking forward of the Grand Lobby, you'll find the lower level of the Queen's Room, which you walk around the perimeter to find one of my favorite places on board any of the Queens, the Golden Lion Pub. A wonderful lunch, a pint, some trivia, and occasionally bingo. On the starboard side of the ship, opposite the Golden Lion, we find the Bright Light Society, an exclusive to Queen Anne venue featuring a nightly hosted entertainment including music and comedy. The venue is named in honor of Cunard's heritage as being the first to bring electric lights to the launch of a new ocean liner. Taking the forward stairs up to Deck 3, we'll find the main entrance to the Royal Court Theatre. A traditional proscenium theatre with a thrust stage has been designed for excellent sound quality. The rendering of the theatre doesn't do it justice. It would have been nice to have the balconies like Queen Mary II, but that doesn't seem to be a common design on modern cruise ships. The theatre capacity is 825 seats and will feature a variety of production shows, visiting theatre, music, and special guests. Walking aft of the Royal Court Theatre, we'll find the casino, and the upper level of the Queen's Room, the Corinthia Lounge, along with a variety of shops and boutiques. At the aft end of the ship, we'll also find the upper level of the Britannia restaurant. I'm also very excited to see a proper promenade deck on Deck 3, something that's frequently missing from many new cruise ships. Decks 4 through 8 have no public spaces. They are exclusively staterooms. Let's have a look at a few of the renderings of the available staterooms. The ship has a number of different categories for each room type. Looking at the ship's deck plan, you'll be able to see what rooms accommodate more than 2 people, and there are variations in the type of balcony front and obstructed views. There are also staterooms and suites located on the forward end of decks 9, 10, and 11, and some on deck 1. Looking at the deck plans, self-service laundry rooms are available on deck 1, 4, 7, 8, and 10. Walking up from deck 9 towards the forward elevators, the pavilion is a fantastic addition to the Queen Anne. Featuring a retractable roof, pool, and hot tubs, it's a wonderful space in warm or cool weather. The gelato bar, grill, and bar are located aft of the pool area. I do wonder if this pool area is going to be a little cramped on sea days in good weather. It doesn't have as much lounging space as most ships. Continuing towards the aft of deck 9, we come to the Artisan's Food Hall, otherwise known as the buffet. With numerous food stations and a dedicated bar area, this is perfect for a quick meal. Approaching the aft elevators on the port side, we'll find the Tramonto restaurant. Inspired by the Mediterranean flavors and influences of Africa and Arabia, this is one of the specialty restaurants that I'm personally looking the most forward to trying. There is an additional cost for this experience which has not yet been made public, although it may be available to those who have booked. This holds true for the other specialty restaurants as well. On the starboard side, you'll find Orania, an Indian restaurant that promises to take you on a sensory tour of the Indian subcontinent with a playful interpretation of classic Indian cuisine. Again, this restaurant is an additional cost. At the aft of Deck 9, we find the Panorama Pool Club. This is a larger area than the pavilion area and features a pool, hot tub, bars, and performance area. Part of the deck is also used for alfresco dining in the evening, weather permitting. Before we finish the tour, make sure you continue to watch to the end for some special footage we've captured, and of course, this is a great time to subscribe to the channel. On with the tour. Walking up the aft stairs to Deck 10, we come to some additional sun lounge areas, as well as shuffleboard and other games. Deck 10 aft is also where we'll find Sir Samuel's Steakhouse and Grill. Of course, named for the founder of Cunard, this is your go-to for steak and seafood, with prime cuts from around the world, dry-aged on board. This, of course, is an additional cost. Next door, you'll find Ajiwa, a Japanese-influenced restaurant with a menu that changes throughout the year to reflect the seasons and the location of the Queen Anne, using the finest local ingredients, of course. Again, at an additional cost. Making our way forward, but again not accessible from the outdoor areas of Deck 10, we find the Grills restaurants. These are only accessible from the midship elevators and stairs. The Queen's Grill and the Princess Grill are reserved exclusively for passengers staying in the suites and feature their own menus different from the main Britannia restaurant. Finally, to finish up our tour of Deck 10, we find the upper area of the pavilion, a covered area of tables and chairs with a good view of the large screen near the pool. On Deck 11 midship, we find another sun area, as well as a wellness studio, but the primary feature here is the Grills Terrace, an exclusive area for Grills suite passengers to enjoy the sun, bars, and plunge pools overlooking the ocean on either side of the ship. Deck 11 aft features the Cabana Bar and more sun lounge areas, games, and seating areas. This will be a fantastic vantage point to see Queen Anne's iconic red funnel and the wake view behind. Heading all the way forward on Deck 12, we find the Commodore's Club with a fantastic view at the bow and their expansive list of drinks along with entertainment. Adjacent to the club, you'll find the library, Churchill's Cigar Lounge, the Admiral's Lounge, and finally, the Zone, the ship's kids club. Finally, taking the forward stairs or elevators to Deck 14, we have the observation deck, a sun area along with ping pong or table tennis if you like, and a putting green. It also features the sky bar, which I can only imagine will be open on fair weather days. With the tour finished, now something special for you. We've managed to capture a little bit of footage of the Queen Anne on February 12th sailing through the Messina Strait between Sicily and the mainland of Italy. The footage isn't wonderful because of the distance and the camera that captured it, but it's really nice to see her out in the water. The Queen Anne seems to have the soul of classic Cunard vessels and the Queen Mary too, while at the same time being a modern vessel. That soul is something that many have felt was missing from the Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth. I hope the ship's designers didn't just pay homage to the liners of the past in the interior decor, but baked it right into the structure. An impossible task, perhaps. We're really hoping for a media day soon to see the progress in person and bring that footage to you. There you go. We've walked through the ship the best we can given what we have right now. Have we missed anything? Be sure to put questions in the comments. Hopefully, someday in the future, a meeting of the four queens will be possible. We'll bring you details from the ship as more news and updates are released and track her progress until final handover and the inaugural sailing. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe to the channel.